The summer day was as beautiful as it could be. The sun was shining from a cloudless sky. The gentle breeze ruffled the waves of the ocean. It was the perfect day to go out to sea and have some fun. A young man named Lucas had suggested to his parents that they should charter a boat and go on an adventure out to the open sea. It looked like something straight out of a storybook. And then they noticed the skull and crossbones flag flying from the top of the mast. Pirates were supposed to be nothing more than a thing of legend, and yet here one was right before their very eyes. Suddenly, a loud voice boomed from the other ship. "Ahoy, mateys! Prepare to be boarded." He might be just a teenager, but he wasn't about to let these ruffians push him around. He was a tall, imposing figure with a thick black beard and a piercing gaze. Despite his size, he moved with a surprising grace and elegance. "Who are you?" the captain asked, his voice booming. "Over my dead body," he said, clenching his fists. Captain Blackheart's eyes narrowed at Lucas's defiance. "Very well," he said, his voice dangerously quiet. "Then we'll just have to kill you all." "We don't have any treasure," he said defiantly, stepping forward. Their house had been ransacked and their belongings strewn across the floor. He might be just a teenager, but he wasn't going to let the pirates get away with this. Lucas waited until nightfall and then, armed with a flashlight and a knife, snuck out of his house and into the forest. He had heard rumors of a secret pirate hideout nearby and hoped that his dad was being held there. It looked like the pirates had followed them home. Lucas's mom broke down in tears at the sight. The man in uniform nodded. "I'm here to rescue your father and put an end to this pirate hideout once and for all," he said to Lucas. The pirates snarled, but they knew they were outnumbered and slowly backed away from Lucas. As they held each other close, Lucas's dad promised to never let anything bad happen to them again. They repaired their home, replaced their stolen belongings, and most importantly, they bonded together as a family. The experience had brought them closer together and they knew that no matter what challenges they faced in the future, they would face them together. But Lucas knew that life would never be the same. The experience had changed them forever. But Lucas felt a surge of anger. He wouldn't let these pirates win. One of the pirates noticed Lucas at the opening and shouted, "We've got company." Lucas froze, hoping they hadn't seen him. But it was too late. The pirates were on him in an instant. "If you want something, you'll have to take it." The pirate sneered at Lucas's words, but before he could respond, another voice rang out. In the middle of the clearing was a small wooden hut, just like the one he'd heard about. With a deep breath, Lucas crept closer to the hut and peered through a crack in the wall. What he saw made his blood boil. Just as the pirates were about to make their move, a loud voice boomed through the forest. "Leave him alone." The pirates froze and turned to see who had spoken. Lucas's dad was among those taken, but Lucas stayed behind with the others who hadn't been involved in the fight. Once everyone was accounted for, the soldiers approached Lucas. "Are you sure you're okay?" one of them asked. Lucas nodded, still shaken from the ordeal, but grateful for the help. The soldier smiled and said, "Come on then, let's get you home." Standing in front of them was a man in a military uniform. But just when he thought it was all over, a loud voice rang out. Captain Blackheart snarled at the soldiers, but he knew he was outnumbered and slowly backed away from the family. Lucas nodded, still shaken from the ordeal, but grateful for the help. The soldier smiled and said, "Come on then, let's get you home." The soldiers searched the pirate ship and its crew, taking away anyone who resisted. Lucas's dad was among those taken, but Lucas and his mom were left behind with the others who hadn't been involved in the fight. "Hold it right there, you scurvy dogs." Everyone turned to see who had spoken and their eyes widened in surprise. Standing in front of them was a group of armed soldiers. Before the family could even react, several burly pirates had jumped onto their boat. "It's a pirate ship," Lucas whispered, his voice filled with awe. "And you will fear my name from this day forth." Captain Blackheart laughed at Ahab's boastfulness. "You talk a big game, little pirate, but you're all bark and no bite." Hand over the boy and the woman and maybe I'll be merciful and let you keep your life. They'd always wanted to see a real pirate ship up close, and today seemed like the perfect day to do so. His dad, however, was enjoying the sail, keeping a sharp lookout ahead. Don't even try to resist, old man, he growled. You're outnumbered and outgunned. Now just make things easier for yourselves and give us whatever treasure you have on board. Look there, he suddenly shouted, pointing to something in the distance. Is that a ship over there? The family strained their eyes to see what was in the distance. As they watched, what they had thought was a ship grew larger and larger. And when it was closer, they realized it wasn't a ship but a boat. And it didn't look like any boat they'd ever seen before. His parents had agreed, and so the three of them had gone out to sea early in the morning and were now sailing across the ocean with the wind filling their sails. They had been at sea for hours, and both Lucas and his mom had started to feel a bit bored. As it got closer still, they saw that it was an old wooden vessel with tattered sails and a weather-beaten hull. The three of them watched as the pirate ship drew closer, their hearts pounding in their chests. Lucas's dad instinctively reached for the sword he always kept strapped to his waist, but one of the pirates grabbed him by the collar and pulled him away from it. Lucas felt a surge of anger at the pirate's words. Enough of this, Ahab. I don't want any trouble. It was the captain of the pirate ship. I am the terror of the seas, Ahab yelled back. Lucas's mom gasped at the threat, but Lucas stood his ground. Lucas screamed in terror as the pirates closed in on him, their weapons raised. Looks like we're saved, Lucas whispered, relief washing over him. Once everyone was accounted for, the soldiers approached Lucas and his mom. Are you two all right? One of them asked. But when the family arrived home, they soon realized that their ordeal was not over yet. He remembered how they had taken his dad away and a plan started to form in his mind. After hours of searching, Lucas stumbled upon a clearing and his heart skipped a beat. There, tied up and gagged, was his dad. And standing over him were several pirates, including the menacing Ahab. They had surrounded him and were brandishing their weapons. Lucas knew he couldn't fight them all, but he wasn't willing to give up without a fight. Soldiers, Lucas cried out in surprise. The soldiers searched the hut and the surrounding area, taking away anyone who resisted. The family rushed to greet each other, their joy and relief evident in their tearful embrace. In the aftermath of the pirate attack, the family worked together to rebuild their lives.